Jenny.
This is Travis. This is Travis Goes There on guitar. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of general knowledge about the guitar. It's not going to be about chords or any kind of certain guitar technique that has to do with playing per se. This is just general stuff that every beginner, advanced player, intermediate player, everybody should know this, or be able to practice it in some sort. So, first off, if you are just starting playing the guitar, the first thing you need is one of these. One of these. I recommend playing an acoustic guitar, learning on an acoustic guitar. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is not necessarily a fancy one, but it's not a poor quality one either. It's a good guitar. You don't need a $500 or $600 guitar. You don't even need a $300 guitar. You can go out to a guitar store and find a decent guitar for around $100. It's not hard to find one. When you have a guitar, the next thing you need also is you need a stand of some sort, like this, or any type of stand. If you go to the guitar store, yeah, you can show them that one. Janae is my daughter and also a student of mine. She's been playing about 3 months. This stand also, a type like this. There's a lot of different kinds of stands, but this one right here is probably the most common. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the one you're probably going to see the most. Next, you're going to need a chair of some sort. You need something that's not going to have sides on it. Don't play on your bed. Don't play laying on your back. Things like that. You need a chair to sit on, like we're sitting on, but if it has no sides, it's good. It's the best. I don't recommend having any type of sides or anything. It's going to get in the way of you playing the guitar. The guitar is going to hit. The guitar needs to sit on your lap, right? It's meant to sit. That's why it's shaped like this, because of sound, but also because it's meant to sit on your lap, just like Janae's holding it right here. That is one style of playing. She has her legs crossed. Her back is straight. She's leaning up against the chair. So, I play in a different way. I use a footstool like this that I put my left foot up on. And then I put my guitar, this bottom of it, right here. So it holds the neck up here. This is more of a classical playing position. Most people, they play like this. If you play like this, if you stand and play, it's still comfortable because that's right where your guitar is usually at when you stand and play. If you get used to playing like this, it's a little bit of an adjustment later on if you intend to stand and play at some point, which you probably will. Then this method right here, it makes you comfortable in all positions. I can stand, I can sit, I can lay on my back. There's really no position. I can put it behind my head and still be able to play, right? You've seen me do that?
Yes, it was awesome.
I don't recommend playing behind your head, but
It was awesome though.
yeah, but learn however you wish. This is not a wrong way to learn, like this, or how Janae's playing with her legs crossed like that. I don't do that. It's just all up to you. It depends on the style of music that you want to play.
Not this.
Not like that. That's terrible. That is a terrible way. That sets me off as a guitar teacher, that whenever I see a student do that and they insist on doing it, do not play it like this. It is not a piano.
You can't even do.
There are people that play like this, but they've been playing. They didn't learn like that. They learned in the normal way. So, and then they play around here stylistically, which is the next thing I want to talk about, is your style. I recommend an acoustic, whether you play rock, classical, folk, whatever you play. If you play an acoustic guitar, the strings are a little bit different. It's harder to play. You can then take those same skills and use them with your electric guitar, and you'll be much more fluid. It's easier to play. If you start out playing electric and that's all you play, when you get an acoustic guitar in your hand, you're going to have a really hard time because there's a lot of things that you cannot get away with on an acoustic guitar as opposed to an electric guitar. But again, that is up to you. That is just my advice starting out. Start with an acoustic. You don't need anything fancy. Your $100 will get you your guitar. You don't need any fancy electronics. This hole right here, You can take it to your campfire. You can take it to your church. You know, this one is, you can plug it in also. You don't need that though. I've used this on stage, you know, hundreds of times. Even this one does. This one you can plug in. But generally an acoustic guitar, you don't need that. It's just...
There.
Right. At this stage, if you're learning, you're not going to be out there playing, you know, at least for a couple months anyway. You're not going to be out there playing for people and rock shows and stuff like that. So first thing you need to understand about yourself is, are you going to keep playing guitar? So you need to get to that stage first. Your first month is going to be the hardest month that you go through on the guitar, as far as, because you don't know anything yet. Everything feels odd, does it not, at first?
Yeah.
Janae's been playing for like 3 months, and she starts in the same place that I've started at and every other guitar player has started at, which is at the beginning. You don't come out of the womb, you know, playing guitar. You can come out with your voice, but you don't come out playing guitar. It is a learned skill.
Yeah.
Some people learn faster than others. Some people, you know, just take different methods. It really depends on your motivation and your passion to play, your love for music.
Mm-hmm.
If you love it, then you're going to continue going on with it. It's very frustrating at first. It's very frustrating always, but it's how you manage that frustration. Right? Which leads me into the next thing that you're going to encounter in your journey with the guitar, which is your practice. Right? So I'm going to show you, not right now, but later on in the series, I'm going to show you good ways to practice that are not going to waste your time, that you can get your maximum result out of. If you're busy, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, but just to focus on the things that you need to do in order to keep getting better and get growth. That way you don't become frustrated and just quit the guitar, because that's what most people do. They think that their hands, my fingers are too fat, they're too skinny, you know, I don't have enough time. There's every excuse in the book, and none of them are valid. Because I've seen people with fingers like sausage play guitar, and they're amazing at it. And I've seen people, my daughter here, with little fingers. She can still play. This is a normal sized guitar. Mine's a little bit thicker, but it's still a normal sized guitar. She can still play it. It's not a problem. I've seen people smaller than her play. So, next thing on the list. This is a stylistic choice as well. I play with a pick, a thumb pick that goes on my thumb right here. Janae also does. This is totally up to you on what style that you like to play or what's comfortable at first, because there's no rule saying you can't change at one point. I used a pick like this at first, which is what most people use. They call it a plectrum in Europe, but that's technically what it is. But it's just a normal pick.
I used to.
Yeah, Janae used it as well.
Now I'm using a thumb pick.
Right, because I'm teaching her to play with her fingers, which you don't even need a pick if you want to play with your fingers, but you're probably going to need to grow your nails a little bit, just like I have, not with my thumb necessarily, but with my fingers. I grow these 3 nails, and then this one just grows as a result. It's just there. I don't usually use it. I use my thumb pick. This acts, so I basically have 4 picks, right? Mm-hmm. Janae is just starting with her fingers because she just started playing guitar. So I have her just starting out with her fingers. So basically she's going to play the same way I do. Maybe minus the thumb pick because she hasn't been practicing it. If you don't have nails, it's not going to sound crisp like this. Janae doesn't have nails, so maybe you can hear what it sounds like, hear the difference. See, it's a little bit more dull. It's not like playing with something because the strings are not picking that up. But as your nails grow, the sound will change. It doesn't. It's a stylistic choice. It's not really a rule. And what was this pick? We'll show them how. If you're going to hold the pick, it's almost like, if you can see it here, it's almost like the Koreans do. I think the heart like that. You're just going to stick the pick in there. When it's going down on the guitar, it needs... I'll go more in depth about this. but it's gliding across the strings. It's not digging into the strings. It's gliding. I would say this is probably the most popular way to play because this is the easiest way to get started on the guitar. Your fingers are very awkward at first, so if you're starting out like this is it's coming from this pick. I can do the same thing with this because it's acting the same way, but it's just wrapped around my thumb, so I can still play with my fingers. Yeah. Janae seems to like to strum like this. It does keep you from dropping the pick, but you know, again, it's a stylistic choice.
It happened to me before.
Yeah, I use it because all of my guitar, I don't call them heroes or idols or anything, but the people that I admire the most on the guitar, this is how they play. So naturally, I just started playing like that as well, because you can only do so much with a pick. I'd be hard pressed to do that with just a pick. So I like a little bit more complicated music, but this is up to you. Okay, next, practice. Keep your guitar out. The reason why I recommended having a stand is that you need to have your guitar out where you can see it and not in a case put away in the closet. Because if you are going about your daily life and your guitar is in the closet, it's not going to get played. It's out of sight, out of mind. If your guitar is sitting over here in the corner and you're sitting somewhere where you normally do, like maybe in your bedroom or wherever you spend a lot of time by your computer, there's a guitar there, you're going to continually reach over and keep picking up that guitar. That's a good thing. Even if you just practice in the beginning 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, that's better than, you know, trying to go at it an hour or 2 hours like on the weekend when you think that you have time, or you know, once or twice a week. That's no good. It's something, the guitar is something you need to pay attention to, kind of like an animal, every day. Mm-hmm. Every day you have to get it out and pet it a little bit. Your fingers, your pick, all your technique that needs to be paid attention to every day, at least a little bit. Everybody has, if you don't have 15 minutes of time, 30 minutes a day to just sit down and focus on the guitar, then you should probably reevaluate your schedule, because you're probably way too busy. You need a little bit of relaxation time. To me, there's no better relaxation than just playing music and learning the song, and it just makes you happy.
Yeah.
Right? So set aside the time, get a stand, keep your guitar out, that way you practice it. Mm-hmm. So can you tell, since you're very new at guitar, can you tell people what some of the early frustration of learning is when you don't know anything at all, because you just went through this? What's some of the frustration with the guitar?
It's my timing.
Well, that's a technique. It's not, I'm talking about frustration. To me, what I see a lot, what I went through, is that at this stage in your first month, you don't know any chords. You don't know anything about music generally. Unless you have another instrument, in which case this doesn't apply to you. But in most cases, when people play guitar, they don't know anything about music. They don't know anything about timing. They don't know about chords or anything else. So what people usually ask me right off the bat is, teach me a song. What song do you want to know? Well, just teach me, anything is easy. No song is easy. Even Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is complicated when you don't know it, isn't it? That's the first song that I taught Janae, was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and it takes days, you know, to learn. It's not something that comes by magic. It's a daily thing. You'll pick up the guitar, your fingers won't work. You'll play and play, almost get yourself frustrated. If you get frustrated, walk away from it. Come back an hour or two later. Try it again. You'll find that every time that you pick it up, it's going to get a little bit easier every time. It's not something that just comes overnight. There's some people that make it look like that. I know people that make it look like that, but they sit home and they practice all the time. And they have a very huge passion for music and just discovery of new things. So it's nobody Everybody says that they know somebody who just picks up the guitar and plays. I've never seen it. I have investigated thousands and thousands of people who say that this is the case. I've never seen it, not once. It always ends up, if the person can play, it's because they put in time to practice and the other people just didn't understand that, right? It is definitely a practice thing. Whatever you put into it, you'll get out of it. If you just half-hearted practice around, it's going to take you years to get on. But if you practice correctly and you have passion and don't frustrate yourself and you pay attention to the fundamentals, you will learn very quickly. I promise you that. So I was thinking of something else, but maybe I'll just put that in the next video. But this is just an informational video, and I'll put out a series of these so that way you always have something to look back on. Remember something that I said, so in your time of frustration, that you'll know that you are not alone, that this is just the guitar journey. You will get frustrated. You will feel like smashing the guitar sometimes. It's normal. But instead of smashing it, you just put it up, you walk away, come back to it a couple hours later, and it's all good, right? The guitar has not killed you yet, has it?
No.
Nor it hasn't me.
But I don't want
It's
to
a great
smash
thing.
it.
No, of course not, because it costs money, and then you have to replace it.
And right now,
Yeah.
this is about to break.
Yeah, so it happens. So that's it for today, and we'll go over some more the next time. Until then, put your guitar on a stand and practice.